Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video we'll be taking a look at the Mortal Realms issue number 3 and seeing how this will work for Warcry. So here's issue 3 of the Mortal Realms subscription, and if you haven't seen the introductory video, you can check that out too. I'll leave a link in the description and also at the end of this video, and then you can see what the whole Mortal Realms subscription's all about and take a look at whether you think it's something that can add to your game for either Age of Sigmar or for Warcry. I've signed up to this subscription and also picked up some back orders specifically for Warcry. So if you're into Warcry, then this might be a great way that you can get some cheap miniatures, some cheap terrain, and also pick up some of the terrain pieces that you can't get anymore, like the Age of Sigmar head statue. I've seen that statue on eBay, but it can be a little bit expensive. It doesn't come up that often. So this Mortal Realms subscription is a great way to get it for $7.99. And you also get loads of other cool miniatures and things you can use in your game. So let's get open issue number 3. And then in the video, I'll take a look at the miniatures. I'll put them together so you can see them built. And we'll also take a look at the Sentinels of Order Warcry supplement guidebook so that we can see the fighter type cards for these specific miniatures. So let's get it open and we'll see what's inside. Right, this packet's quite noisy, so I'll get it open, get the wrapper out of the way, and then we can have a good look at the contents. Right, there we go. So this is issue 3. And I picked this up on Backorder from Hatchet Patchworks, and you can also get it on Forbidden Planet. I haven't used that, but it was recommended in the comments of one of my other videos, and I took a look, and there is some options of some great discounts, even cheaper than $7.99, some as low as like £5, but I don't know if this one's in stock there, but it's worth taking a look. I'll leave links to Hatchet Patchworks where I got it from, also to the Mortal Realms website, and I'll also put a link to Forbidden Planet as well. I'll also put a link to Foehammer article that I mentioned in the introductory video, because that's got all the different weeks up to, I think now up to week 54, that shows you what you're going to get ahead of time, so it's well worth taking a look at that. But here we go, this is issue 3, and in here we get Castigators and a Gryphhound, and you also get how to paint the Stormcast Eternals and a shooting playthrough. So this is our sprue that we get, and a paint pot, and this is really great. I mean, this here gives us 3 Castigators and 1 Gryphhound, and I think this is from Underworlds. I'm not sure though, but if you do know, please let me know in the comments below. It'd be great to know if this is one of those sets, because if it is, this would have been £15, the RRP, and for $7.99 you're getting that plus this paint, so that's going to be a couple of pounds. So that's really good value for $7.99, and these are great looking miniatures. I mean, if we just look at the picture there, we get those 3 and that Gryphhound as well, so really cool. And let's take a look at the sprue in detail, and here's our sprue. And so these are great. I love it with the bases because they're all done for you, and so it's just a case of assembling these. And it says they're push fit, but for me sometimes they're not the best miniatures to put together. They need a bit of trimming still, so I still glue them. It says you don't need glue, but I glue these. I don't glue them to the base because I like to paint them separately, but I will be gluing the different parts together. But you can see we've got 2 small sprues, very simple pieces to put together, and so not a lot of variety. It's just really, really simple. Every part's going to be used, and they're going to go together really easily. There's our Gryphhound there, that looks cool. So there we go, and these bases are awesome with the little bits of terrain built into them, so just a case of painting them quickly up, and the miniatures, and they won't take long at all to get ready. So there's our sprue, that's the other side. You can see here the push fit sections, and these crossbows are mad. They're really big, so they're huge, but the miniatures themselves are quite big when you compare them to the other warbands. These Stormcast Eternals are pretty big miniatures. So there we go, that's our sprue. And then we also get this nice pot of paint, a Retributor armour, base paint, and this is a nice rich gold. I don't have this yet either, so that's a bonus. So you get that included. And now we'll take a look at the book and see what's inside. So this is issue 3, And this is kind of centered around Age of Sigmar, so you're going to get a lot of rules and narrative for Age of Sigmar, but I'm going to use the miniatures for Warcry for sure. But it's nice if you like Age of Sigmar, and it's good to know and read and learn a little bit about it anyway, because it all kind of ties in a little bit to the background and everything. So here we are, this is what we're going to get in this issue. So we're going to read about the Storm hosts, and then the Hammers of Sigmar, the Castigators, the Night Hawk processions, show us how to build it, how to paint them, and then a little playthrough as well. So, and there's some nice artwork in these little books that come with it, and I really like all these different pictures that show you different ways you could paint and things like that. So that's really nice. There's lots of references in here, which is really good. And then it tells us about the Storm hosts. Oh, that just came right out, so it's not glued together that well. And all the different ones there, the conclaves. So I don't know anything about this yet, so I'm interested to read through. And it's nice that it's quite simple. There's not a lot of reading to do in these little booklets, so you can really get a quick introduction to the different miniatures and their backgrounds. And here we go, here's the Castigators, and that's what's included here. That's the miniatures we get. And some nice photos to see them in action, a bit more information. And then the other part of this Mortal Realms is all the miniatures you get are the Night Haunt, so they're going to be included as well. So we're going to learn about the Night Haunt processions. Ooh, that's good. What is that? That looks cool. Do you know? If you know what that is, please let me know in the comments below. I love the look of that. Is that like a spell? One of those spell packs you get with Age of Sigmar, maybe? But that looks great. And here we go, a bit more information about the Night Haunt. So I think these books are really great for this, just really quick introductions. So if you're someone like me who doesn't know an awful lot about Age of Sigmar, this is a good way to get into it and learn about the different war bands that you're going to be using. And now it shows us how to build our Castigators and Gryphhound. And it's so simple. It just says you need clippers, don't even need glue, but I'm certainly going to glue it rather than just going with this push fit option. And there we are for each one. So nice and detailed, just like you'd get in a book that came with the miniatures in a pack. And then here we are, our how to paint guide, and it tells us here we need to get a Retributor armour and Corax white. And I imagine, because this is like a weekly subscription, it may just give you the instructions on how to paint it in each stage, rather than showing you how to paint it all in one go. So it looks like here, it's going straight on with this base paint, so no spraying. First, second, final coat. So you need 3 coats of that. And then you use the gold on these ones. I mean, I'll be using spray cans for these, no doubt. And then there's our finished model. So yeah, this is just going to show us how to do the base. And then in later issues, as we work through the subscription, I imagine it's going to start showing us how to do the different layers 1 week at a time. I wouldn't like to wait a week apart from doing each stage though, so I think you'd probably get all the stages together and then start painting them maybe, if you want to follow these guides, that is. And here we go, now we get some reinforcements here, and this is a little bit of information about how to do a little playthrough. So you can use this card poster thing that came with the first issue, and that just gives you the idea of where you place your troops, and it brings in this extra Gryphhound miniature as well, and then you can just play it through. And again, each week you're going to build up the rules and learn how to expand and go from simple playthroughs like this, right, and how the different miniatures attack, like the Gryphhound and the Chain Rasps, and then you're going to build up and get more into the game on a larger scale as the weeks progress. And here we are, here's the information we need for the Age of Sigmar, and then letting us know what's to come next at issue 4. So we find out what's coming in issue 4 and issue 5 if we've signed up to the subscription. But if you're looking to do it now, as I made this video, it's January 2021. And if you're subscribing now through the Mortal Realms website and Hatchet Partworks, then you're going to start, I think it's issue 31 now, so you can't start at the beginning, but you can pick them up on back order, and if you order over £32 or £30 worth, you're going to get free delivery too. So there is still an option of getting some of these older issues on back order, and don't forget that Forbidden Planet is another option too. So great, so that's our little booklet. We get our paint, and we get our miniatures. So let's take a look at the supplement guidebook, and we'll just check out what stats and abilities and fighter type cards we get for the Castigators and Gryphhound. So here's our Sentinels of Order Warcry supplement guidebook, and this is an awesome book packed with loads of features and narrative and different fated quests and campaign battles and things like that. And I've done a separate review on all these books for each of the different alliances. So here on page 71 we'll be able to see the fighter type cards that for the miniatures that were included in our issue 3, and it's also going to give us our leader abilities here and our fighter abilities. So these miniatures are Stormcast Eternals from the Sacrosanct Chamber, and in this pack we get a Castigator Prime, and he's going to be a leader figure, and he's 255 points, and he can take 30 wounds or 30 damage. He's got a toughness 5 and his movement is 4. He's got this rune mark here for the warband and a leadership rune mark and one other. And with his weapons, his range weapon is a minimum 3, maximum 15. He can make 3 attacks, strength 5, dealing 2 to 4 on a crit. And then up close, he can have a range of 1 with 4 attacks, strength 4, dealing 1 to 4 on a crit. So the up close one isn't great for this value here, but this one's pretty good to keep that range and have 3 attacks, strength 5 is nice. But let's check out the abilities for our Castigator Prime over on the other page, and here we are. He's going to get a double called Cleanse the Realms of Taint. A fighter can use this ability only if an enemy fighter has been taken down by an attack action made by them this activation. This fighter makes a bonus move action or a bonus attack action. Okay, so it's pretty standard there, nothing too exciting. As long as he takes down an enemy fighter, he can make a bonus move or attack action. And here's some other leadership abilities, and he doesn't have this rune mark, so he can't use that ability there. But he does have one other, and that is this one here, and that's a triple called Burst of Celestial Lightning. Add half the value of this ability, rounding up, to the damage points allocated by each hit or critical hit from the next attack action made from this fighter, this activation, that targets an enemy fighter more than 3 inches away. Okay, so this is better. So on a triple, we can add half the value of the ability. So if we're getting 5s or 6s, we can add 3 to the damage points allocated by each hit or critical hit. So that's really nice. But you've got to do it before you make the next attack action. So you need to use this at the beginning of the turn. And so let's go back and just check his values here. So his damage characteristic there, he can do 2 to 4 on a crit. So if you're adding like 3, which would be the maximum, he can do 5 or 7 being on the crit. So that's a nice ability for a triple there, and that's really cool. So that's our Castigator Prime, and that's his fighter type card and abilities taken from the book there. And now we've got our other Castigators, and we get 2 of these in the miniature pack that's included in the Mortal Realms issue 3, and they're 195 points each. They've got one ability. They can take 20 damage or 20 wounds with a toughness 5 and a movement 4. With their ranged weapon, it's a minimum 3, maximum 15 inches, 3 attacks, strength 5, 2 to 4 on a crit. And then here they can do another up close attack, a range 1, 3 attacks, strength 4, 1 to 4 on a crit. So they're 55 points lower, or is it 60 points lower, but they can still do the same amount of damage with their weapon, which is really cool. And let's just double check that ability again that they get. So they're just getting the one ability, and that's the Burst of Celestial Lightning. So the only thing they're really missing from the leader is that double Cleanse the Realm of Taint. So it's not great, really, not a great difference for the leader. 60 points just to get that ability there. But we do have the standard abilities that are included in the core rules as well, so that's going to apply to these guys. And finally we've got that Gryphhound, so at 150 points. This one's got 20, can take 20 damage, toughness 4, 6 movement. Then it's got a range of 1, can make 4 attacks with its claws and beak, strength 4, dealing 2 to 4 on a crit. And it's got the beast rune mark, and let's see, That's going to apply here with one ability, which is a triple called Darting Attack. This fighter makes a bonus attack action, then they can make a bonus disengage action. Alright, so that's cool. So they've got that extra movement on top of the Castigators, so it can go in, make an attack, make a bonus attack action, then a bonus disengage action as well on a triple. So that's really cool, and that's our final fighter type for the miniatures that are included in the Mortal Realms issue 3. So these miniatures here come to a total of 795 points. So really you're only going to include another Castigator or Gryphhound, and that's your 1000 point warband used up. So if you want to start a warband for $7.99, you've got like 800 points pretty much. So that's so cheap. That's really quick. That's a quick way to do it. Get these, add another miniature to it, and you've got your warband there. So that's where you can find cards in this book. You can also buy the Stormcast Eternals card pack. And here's the card pack for the Sacrosanct Chamber, which I haven't opened yet, but I'll be doing a video on that very soon. And the chances are, if you're watching this in the future, then this video is already done. So take a look on my videos to see that one. But there's going to be the cards for these miniatures hopefully in here, but I won't find out until I open it. So you've got a couple of options. You can get the book, which is really great value, and it's if you've got a Stormcast Eternal army already and you want to get into Warcry, this book is going to give you access to all the miniatures in there. I mean, if we take a quick look here at page 62, I'll just show you how many fighter type cards are included. It's a huge amount. So let's flick to page 62. So here we go. So we've got 12, 24, 36, 48, 50, 62, 64, 76, 76 fighter type cards just for the Stormcast Eternals in there. So that's crazy. That's a huge amount. Well worth picking the book up for. So anyway, that's our fighter type cards and where you'll find the abilities for these miniatures. I'll now go and get them built just so you can see them assembled. I'll take some photos and then you can have a closer look at them. But that's our issue 3 of the Mortal Realms, and the paint, the sprues and everything you get included. Here we go. Here's our Castigator Prime, all built and assembled. A great looking miniature, and these were really quick and easy to build. I just trimmed off all the bits from the sprue, and also where they're push fit they get some little connectors inside, and I just trimmed them down a little bit so I could get a really smooth connection when I glued them and put them all together. And here's the Castigators again. These look great too. And then our final one, our 4th miniature, is the Gryphhound. And altogether this is a great set, and for $7.99 with a pot of paint too, this is such good value. Let me know what you think about these in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I hope this video has given you a good insight into the Mortal Realms and how it fits for Warcry. Thanks so much for watching. Please like if you like it, subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games.